Teaching psychological games, capturing a girl's mind, and how to charm a girl. Today, we want to talk about some psychological games that you can use to attract the girl you like. Remember that mental games can easily hurt other people. In this type of behavior, you are using the other person's lack of information, their misunderstanding of bad psychology. Psychological games can be a way to know people's delusions in psychology. Of course, I would like to point out that you cannot use these techniques when entering into a relationship, and you should consider this type of behavior as a long-term investment. But before we get started, welcome to Scene Psycho channel. We will appreciate if you give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you. Number 1. Stand at the door. First, make a small request from the girl that is not visible at all, and then gradually make your request more valuable and bigger. Keep in your mind that your initial requests, which are not seen much, are related to your main request. For example, you saw a girl in a bookstore and you liked her. After you hit an opener and started talking, you asked her what book she likes the most. And then you took her phone number from her. She would see a message and ask her if you know of a proper coffee shop around here. After she tells the name of a coffee shop, tell her that I like it and whenever she has time, we can make a date and go have a coffee. Why do I consider this game a mental game? Because your first request from a girl was to count. Do you think that when the girl gives you her number, she creates this image in her mind that, do you like this boy? That's why you didn't reject her request for your number. That's why you didn't reject his request for your number. This event is also called the work of Ben Franklin, which we will now explain more about. When a girl's psyche inspires her with such an image, it is less likely that she will respond negatively to your request to go out, because people are usually very confident about their feelings and it is usually difficult for them to confront their own beliefs and feelings or act against it. Of course, getting your number and type of contact in the initial message is very important for this strategy to work. The second case is bait. This one is completely opposite to the previous one. It means that your initial request is big and your second request is smaller and more reasonable. Your initial request is your bait and will usually be rejected by the listener. By the second request, which is usually more logical, get a positive answer. If you plan the second request correctly, usually it will not be seen at all in front of the first request, and at the same time, it is related to the first request. Therefore, it is much easier to accept it. You can see the examples I give for this one a lot on the street, but of course, you shouldn't be fooled for them. For example, a needy person comes to you and says, "Uncle, will you buy us some food from the restaurant?" And you say no. He hesitates a little and says that I don't have money and I'm very hungry. Can you give me some money so that I can at least buy some cheaper food for myself? This technique is one of Cialdini theories, which is also very popular in psychology. Pickup artists sometimes use this technique to have a lot of communicating with the girl. For example, they talk to the other party for a bit, then they tell them to give her number and the girl says no. Then they say, "Do you have Instagram? Give it so that we can talk." The first request can be very unreasonable for the girl, especially if you haven't been able to complete the attraction. But usually the second request, because it is related to the first number, which is also a smaller and more logical way of communication, is usually answered. You can use this technique anywhere in the relationship, but try not to make the initial request so big that the girl backs away. For example, don't ask a girl for her number without saying anything in the first meeting. Third, by Ben Franklin. When a person does something for you, no matter how small, the girl is instilled in her mind that she likes you. The logic of this theory is that the human mind tells you to do something for someone unless you like that person. For example, if you have a brother or sister younger than you and your brother hate each other very much, you can use this technique to create the thought in his mind that he loves you. God forbid us all. A small request like, "Can you give me the control? Can you bring me a glass of water from the kitchen?" Note that your request must be reasonable. This psychological game is usually played by girls and boys. For example, you're in a restaurant and the girl says, "Can you ask how much it is and should we pay? I'm a little late." Or, for example, instead of calling the waiter and asking him to do something, he tells you to ask the same thing from the restaurant waiter. There is a psychological theory called cognitive impairment. This theory is considered when you do something against your belief. In this theory, people usually make excuses for what they do to convince themselves that what they did was right. In Ben Franklin's theory, our excuse is our interest in that person to do what she asked us to do. 4. The principle of scarcity. Consider that you are in a friend zone with a girl and that girl always calls you brother. And the more you spend time with her, the more you sink into friend zone prison. The reason you stay in the friend zone is that she is used to you being around her. And the more time you spend on that relationship, the worse situation it will be. What is the solution now? I will tell you. Try to make time for your partner for a whole month. Go out with her more and be around. And then she will miss you for a month to the extent that you don't answer her messages at all. Or if they see you and want to talk to you, politely say that I'm too busy and you have to do something and leave there. This behavior of yours will make the girl look at 1 month you had as a dream and feel that you have no external existence after that 1 month. Don't think at all about the fact that the girl may meet another boy and forget you and enter into a relationship. This procedure will make her feel your absence completely. Your value will increase in her mind. Repeat this procedure continuously until she understands that this girl is really dreaming about you and a romantic relationship. We have already talked about ways to understand this issue in this process. Be careful not to spend more than a month on it. Otherwise, this technique of psychological games will no longer be useful. Number 5. The reciprocal norm. The name of this technique may sound a bit harsh, but in the real world, we unconsciously use it a lot. The custom of society has always dictated to us that we should do something for others in return for the good work they do for us. During my university days, I wrote an essay for my friend, and by using that essay, she was able to pass one of her courses in the final exam. I remember a few weeks later, I was out late and there was no bus to get back home, so I called her to come and pick me up. After finishing my request, I heard a sense of anxiety in her voice and felt that she wanted to reject my request. It means that she doesn't have full confidence to give a positive answer to my request. That's why before she lied to me and turned me around, I told her that if you don't have gas, I will pay for your gas myself. After hearing what I said, her tone changed and she said, okay, I will be there in 5 minutes. The first point is that you have done something for someone and you want this technique to work. But don't let a long time pass after doing that work. And after doing that work, immediately make your request to the person. Within a day or two. For example, if in the previous example, instead of 2 weeks later, I would make another request to my friend just 1 day later, without a doubt, she would have given a positive answer immediately. And I wouldn't even need to pay for her gas. And the second point is that you should never talk about what you did for her. And the second point is that you should never talk about what you did for her in your request. Because the other party may think that you are forcing them to do something for you. So she will hate you. Friends, the psychological games mentioned in this post are mostly proven theories that you can use both in marital relationships and in everyday life. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If you're a fan of these kinds of videos, please give this video a like and subscribe to the Sin Psycho channel for more. Thank you until the next time. Bye!